Good afternoon and welcome to Road Gateway Rotary Club.
Good afternoon.
You guys would all stand, and I think Cindy Grondal, can you come up and lead us in the pledge, please?
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Valerie, I think you have our inspiration today.
Okay, I realized now that I probably should have signed, next week I'm pledge and this week I'm inspiration. I should have flipped it around because in my political world, every now and then you need to get a certain inspiration. And if any of you get the Courier, you probably understand why right now I could use a little inspiration. I'm not a favorite of the editor, shall we say. So I took some time last night to re-examine why I went into what I did. And I looked at Abraham Lincoln because I think he is a perfect example of someone who's up, who had a vision, who went into it for all the right purposes and had his time on the up and down cycle. So I went to read some things from Abraham Lincoln. And so here are my inspirations. There's a couple of quotes. One of them is, the probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe in to be just. Important. Let's see. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. This is, I'm trying to think which ones. This is kind of where I feel right now and where we are in America. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. And this one is actually funny, so it made me laugh. We could always use a good laugh because this comes from Abraham Lincoln. Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters. So I thought that was a good one. And then my last one is, the ballot is stronger than the bullet. So there we go, a little political.
Thank you, Val. Please be seated. Okay, do we have any visiting Rotarians? I'm looking at our Zoom world here, and I see all of our own club members. What about out in the audience? I also see members and guests. How about guests? Kirk? All right, Donna Sparrow, welcome. Anybody else I'm looking at? I know there's a guest sitting back at Lutz's table, chatting with, hi, Marty Jacobson is joining us again. Welcome. All right, and Patty, do you have a guest with you today? Welcome, Jerry Lomas. It's nice to see you again. Wonderful. Any guests on Zoom? I think everyone there, I recognized all of the names. Well, welcome to all of our guests. Thank you for joining us today. I have a blue badge to award. So for those of you who are guests and may not know, when you join Rotary, you get a red badge. And there's a little checklist of things for you to go through to learn more about the club and how Rotary works. And once you've achieved all of those tasks, you get upgraded to a blue badge. And is Claudia? She's not here today. So we will give this to her when she comes, but she's on Zoom. Well, Claudia, we have your blue badge for you. She finished all of her tasks, so she's officially a blue badge member. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Wonderful. And we will get that to you the next time you come. It will be in the badge box for you. All right, so we have some announcements. If you have an announcement, so I think that and I know Greg wants to make an announcement, and Delyn, if you can come up to make those announcements in the microphone, that would be great. I want to share with all of you for Janie, we are going to do Operation Joy again. So that is a little project that we have where we collect holiday cards, blank holiday cards, and fill them out for residents of nursing homes in the area who may not otherwise have, a Christmas card from someone. So if you would like to participate in that and fill cards out, start collecting those. If you just have a whole stack of cards, I know I always get a big group of them from some of the nonprofits I donate to. If you've got extra cards, and if you're not interested in filling them out, Janie will collect them and pass them out to folks who are ready to sign. So start collecting your cards, and we'll get more information out to you as we get closer to the holidays. Bev.
I'm just passing on a reminder of Janie's about tonight. She wants everybody to know the event starts at 5:30 for all those that have signed up, because I think we got our max or whatever before we had to do a buffet. And except for the Red Badgers, they'll start at 5 if any Red Badgers are coming for their fireside. And then also they have special limited menu to choose from, but it's things like salads, burgers, tacos, fish, pasta. And of course you get your beverage of your choice there. And she'll be there early with Patty to decorate the tables, and Deb Amin will be providing us with a Halloween trivia game. So looking forward to seeing everybody.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So if you signed up for tonight, we'll look forward to seeing you. The next social that we have is scheduled in December, I believe. Is that correct? I think it's in December, early December. December 5th. So there is another event. We're going to be doing a tour of the Glass Forge and an opportunity to blow your own Christmas ornaments. And then afterwards do a tasting. I always forget the name of the distillery. If anyone knows, Steam. Thank you. A tasting at Steam afterwards. So if you're interested in that, there's still time to sign up. Email Bev or Janie if you haven't done so yet. Greg.
Thanks, Gina Marie. I have a special announcement for all of you with blue bags. Don't turn them in. Keep them. Because the longtime members will know that in the holiday season, there's a special match program. This year it begins November 15. So save all your full blue bags to drop them off between November 15 and December 1, and we get an extra 20% for everything that you put through. So get more, save more.
Thank you, Greg. Delyn and then Doug.
All right, real quick for those of you with our North Valley Interact group. Every other Wednesday, they're meeting at their lunchtime. So if anybody wants to come, it's to North Valley High School. We met, not meeting again next Wednesday, but the following. It's very short. So it's like 11:15 to 11:45 on what they're working on making things for wildlife images. They're trying to get otters out there. And so the kids are going to make, the students are going to make stuff for the Otter Center that's coming together. They're doing a craft project on the 18th in Mackey's room up there at North Valley from 12 to 4 if anybody wants to come help. As part of their fundraiser for their water well. So if you guys have extra buttons that you don't need lying around, I will take those from you so they can make those. Any questions, just let me know.
Okay, I've got two announcements. One reminder of, I believe it's the November 5th out at the food bank, the seed collection, seed spitting contest. Got a email about that. And then we've also just got an email from the high school about the mock interviews and the next date set for that. So I'll send that out in an email soon. So for some of you that are new to the club, The high school does something called mock interviews where sophomores have a career building class, and part of that class is to do mock interviews. And so the school needs adult participants to practice with the students doing interviews. And so if you can do it, it's a lot of fun. It's one of the best things we do out there. Sit there and talk to students about what they might want to do and kind of coach them on how to give interviews and what to say, what not to say. It's a great time. And on that sign up, if it feels like you can't be there either all day or for the half day, you can leave early during the sessions. You just need to be there at the beginning of the sessions to get the instructions on how it runs. So you can leave early, but you can leave early, but you just need to be there in the beginning.
This be real quick. Polio report. No new cases of wild polio virus were reported in the last week.
Okay, thank you. All right. Did anybody else have an announcement that I missed? I know we're getting ready to do backpack projects soon. You're still collecting stuff. If you would like to contribute to the backpack project, you can still make contributions to the RG Rotary Foundation. That just helps us fund all of the supplies that we're purchasing to put the backpacks together. So if that's a way that you would like to participate, you can write a check to the RG Rotary Foundation. And I think Jody's got a little update for us.
Well, I wasn't really going to make an announcement specifically, but that did just bring things up. Cost of food has dramatically gone up. I was just talking with the grocery outlet who's giving us $1,000 worth of product, and he's been searching and searching and trying to find things. I was telling Greg that the guy told me that a 6-ounce can of tuna, the cheapest he could buy through the grocery outlet supplies, $2.99 a can. I know. I mean, I was just dumbfounded. So we are definitely going to have to be buying stuff. Peanut butter, trying to find it. It is extremely difficult and horribly expensive. You know, normally we try to get an 18-ounce can. The best that we could find, he didn't even bother trying to look at that because it was so expensive. So I went to the food bank and was talking with Josephine. The cheapest she can get me peanut butter, and it's a 15-point-some-ounce jar, was like $2.50 a thing. I mean, and you know, 15 ounces is not very much. Now, mind you, the kids will love it and it will go a ways. But so if you do have funds that you would like to donate, please do to the RGR Foundation. But please let me know, because then I know how much I have available to spend. So I appreciate that. And we are coming up soon. I will be sending out the invites for people to come and continue. I mean, I've already got a number of people signed up to work the different times, but also to do the deliveries, and of course more information coming out soon, but that'll come out in November. So thank you.
So I will be sure to make sure that an email gets out to everyone with information about the backpack project and where you can send checks. So again, write the check to RG Rotary Foundation. We have a PO box specifically for the RG Foundation. I can't remember it off the top of my head. So I will make sure that that gets emailed to you. And then Delyn, I'll work with you to get the details about the Interact so we can send that out to everyone too. Perfect. All right. Any other announcements or questions? Okay, well then I think I will bring Judy Basker up to introduce our speaker today.
Hello, everybody. First and foremost, look at this fabulous spider dress. Shall we all acknowledge that? Thank you for the spirit. Second, raise your hand if you remember when tuna was 25 cents a can. That's how old I am. And I'm just really happy that Darren Van Lehm is joining us today. He's the athletic director at Rogue Community College. And some of you may not even know that we have athletics there. They are the Ospreys. And I was going to give you the information about his degree at SOU, and he grew up in Ashland, and he has a graduate degree from New Hampshire in sports management, but we already got all that. So I'll just tell you, the first soccer game I went to at RCC was our team, which was at that time almost exclusively Hispanic students, and a club team from Willamette University, where I had been for so many years. And Willamette has 200 Japanese students every year. And it happened that their entire team was Japanese. And so I'm at this game and I'm watching our students all talking to each other in Spanish, and then this other team all talking to each other in Japanese. And it was like a cultural experience you wouldn't have expected, you know, in Southern Oregon. And it's several years later, so Darren will give you the update. But also we have a tremendous number of students from Hawaii. And for reasons, well, I know the primary reason, our volleyball coach came here and she had 4 or 5 recruits going where she was from Hawaii. And when they found out she was coming to RCC, they came to RCC instead. And that is hysterical to watch them play and talk trash in pidgin English. You know, so anyway, this is Darren Van Lehm. He's going to talk to us about RCC Athletics, and come on up. And he's also just really a nice person.
Judy commented that normally when she sees me speak, I'm sitting down. So this was the first time she realized that I'm quite a tall individual myself. Thanks to Judy for inviting me today, and a special thanks to Judy, who in her previous role ran the foundation at the college, and she was a big proponent of that volleyball program that you mentioned and helped bring in a lot of fundraising that has helped support the growth and the success that they have had as well. So my name is Darren Van Lehm. I'm the athletic director at Rogue Community College. It sounds like you got my bio, at least in brief, but the short story is my family moved me to Southern Oregon when I was 4 years old from Santa Barbara, California. And I have kind of lived all around the Valley ever since, graduating from Ashland High School, then Southern Oregon University, working at Rogue Community College, deciding that my career in education would be best suited if I moved towards athletics and student athletes. I describe that motivation because most student athletes, they have a goal in mind and they just don't really know how to get there, but they're willing to run through a wall if you'll teach them how to do that. So I decided those are the types of people I would like to work with if I'm going to do a career in education. So went back to school, got a master's degree from Southern New Hampshire University. Thankfully that they did one entirely online so I could continue working and going to school. Graduated in April of 2017, and in May of 2017, the college decided they wanted to add an athletic director position. So through the gift of happenstance, I was able to apply and was hired, and have been doing that since August of 2017. This is my 15th year, though, at Rogue Community College. I started as an athletic advisor, an academic advisor, just intaking any general student who walked through the door. I moved into transfer advising and helping all of our students who go on to 4-year schools. And then when the program was founded, athletics, I joined in the second year as the athletics advisor, and then over in the third year as the director upon graduation. So I've been thankful to be in my 6th year of running the program, 7th year involved, and we've only existed for 8 years. So I've been fortunate to be here for almost the entire time. Some of the games that Judy just mentioned, the program started first 2 years as a club program, largely because the Hispanic community was trying to find something that might help motivate their community members who want to continue their education beyond high school. Soccer is a huge sport culturally for Hispanic population, so it worked quite well. Our soccer team is still almost 50% Hispanic every year, although we have expanded our recruiting efforts. And then in 2015, we joined the NWAC, which is the Northwest Athletic Conference, which is an athletic conference made up of all of the junior colleges in Oregon, Washington, a few in Idaho, and one in BC, Canada, that plays baseball and softball. So 36 of us in total. We started originally with cross country and men's and women's soccer. Our first 2 years, our cross country program actually did quite well, getting 2 All-Americans, transferring 1 who went on to win a national championship at Oregon Tech over in Klamath Falls. But at the end of our second year, Cole Watson, who is from Rogue River and Rogue River High School and won a national championship at U of O, he got hired to be a professional runner. So now he makes his living running for a company and promoting their products. And he left about a month before our third year was supposed to begin. So we were, blessed that he was able to find his career, but left shorthanded. And after a year of trying to find somebody to take over the cross-country program, we struggled, and we taught internal conversations led to, why don't we change this into a volleyball program? Let's use this funding to try to attract a different sport, something that you can do year round inside. You can get a lot of fans to fill seats. Cross country is great. We got a lot of runners in the Valley, but for the fans, you sit at the finish line and wait to see who gets there first. And so it's not the most inspiring to build a culture of athletics at a school who has existed for 50 plus years and really hasn't had athletics as a part of their culture. As Judy mentioned, some of you, and it's still something I worked through, didn't even know that we have athletics, right? And so we continue to try to build that profile. I thought volleyball would be a great way to do that. we were fortunate to be approved to start that program, and we ended up linking up with Don Berryessa out of Jackson County, who owns ABK, Athletic Edge, the Point Restaurant, and now the Courthouse Family Fitness Facility. And they have partnered with us since day one to host our volleyball program out of that gym and that facility. Christine Nelson, who we hired from Grace Harbor out of Washington, she came in, and in her first year, she won the region championship. In her second year, also won the region championship, and in her third year finished third and went to playoffs, and is currently sitting in third and looking to go to playoffs again. So 4 straight years to start the program with very, very high marks. As Judy mentioned, again, one of the reasons that we were able to do that is because she was an active coach of 7 years. And when she decided to make a career change, move from a cold, rainy Washington coastal town to Medford, to where she is like, you guys get sun all the time around here. She was in the middle of recruiting, and told the players, the school will honor your scholarship if you want to stay at that school, but if you follow me, I will give you the same scholarship, and Rogue will honor a new scholarship for you. And all 7 of those players said yes. So we brought in 7 of our first 15 were from the Hawaiian Islands. And this year we have, once again, 7 of our 12 are from Hawaii. And the 8th one technically is American Samoan, but she grew up in Medford. So 8 of our 12 players are American Samoa, 7 of them coming directly from Hawaii. A group of 4 freshmen we brought in this year had the highest overall placement in math, writing, and science of any athletes we've had in 8 years of coming in. 2 of them want to be engineers. And they have played together since freshman year of high school, and they are leading our program right now and helping us make this strides with such a large freshman group incoming. So really great things looking forward in the future. We really push hard to try to find the best athletes that fit what we're trying to do as a program, right? Which, as they will hear me say all the time, it's called student athlete for a reason, and that's because the student part comes first. So while, yes, we want to host trophies every year and we want to win and we like winning when we compete in our athletics, the real goal for us is that we have existed long enough now that we are getting graduates from 4-year programs and people who are starting professional careers in medicine and engineering and teachers and all different types of things. Our first ever 4-year transfer, Jaime Aguayo, who played in 2015, now coaches high school in Churchill and Eugene, coaches club, and he sends all of his players to us to come play for us and move from Eugene to here. So we are finally existing long enough to actually start building a true network. And so with the change in leadership that you are probably aware of at the college, Dr. Randy Weber has come in. He comes from a school with a vast experience in collegiate athletics. And so far, his interest and expression and support of what we have done in his first 4 months is fantastic. And we're hoping to continue that partnership and look to grow our program as we continue going in the future. So, as I mentioned, volleyball sitting in 3rd place. We have 4 games to go. If we win one of those 4 games, we guarantee playoff. 2 of 4, we guarantee 3rd. This weekend, tomorrow night, we have 2 home games tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in Medford, as well as Saturday at 2 o'clock in Medford. Is our Dig Pink weekend, which means that we are doing breast cancer awareness the entire weekend. So our team gets all decked out in pink uniforms, and we decorate the gym, and we do a lot of announcements. And this year we partnered with Patriot Electric out of Central Point. They're owned by Corey and Michelle Gray. Michelle Gray is a longtime counselor at Rogue Community College, and so they helped us buy free t-shirts for the crowd and then jerseys for our team. So if you're in the Medford area tomorrow night or Saturday afternoon, feel free to stop by. All of our events are free, and we also live stream all of our events on YouTube. This year, we partnered with Table Rock Sports, a local company who has been streaming high school athletics for 30 years. And so they stream all of our home games for us too, live free on YouTube. Our men's soccer program is in its 8th year. It's still helmed by Greg Millick, who founded the program back in 2015. Last year was the first time the program made it to the Final Four. We finished in 3rd place overall. And one of those players who we brought in from Hawaii, his name is Joel Serarde. He was considered the men's soccer player of the year for the entire conference. And he transferred to Cal State Dominguez Hills out of LA, and they're currently ranked 3rd in the country as a Division II soccer program. They won their final home game of the year yesterday. It's been a long week already. Yesterday, won our final game of the regular season 2-1. So we currently sit in 3rd place. And if Lane wins their final game on Saturday, we are in the playoffs. So we are all super big fans of the Lane Titans this Saturday. Not Friday though, because we're playing them in volleyball and we're hoping we win on Friday. So just Saturday, we are fans of the Lane Titans. And Saturday night, we will find out if we get to make the playoffs for a 4th year out of 8. Volleyball looking at 4 straight years with just another win there. So between the two programs, we have 45 student athletes this year. 55% of those are local, 45% of them come from out of the area. Hawaii is a huge part of it. The West Coast has what's called a WUI, or a Western Undergraduate Exchange, where Hawaii students can get in-state tuition if they come to Alaska, Oregon, and certain coastal states. So that has really helped us, our connections that we have with our coaches. But we have a pair of brothers who are here from Fort Myers, Florida. They flew all the way across the country to come play for us. We've got a gentleman from Utah, a bunch of student athletes from Washington and Idaho and California. So we represent 8 states this year. The most we've represented in a single year is 12. But we are trying to, like I said, bring in the right personalities to represent what we're trying to grow. Because if we want to hopefully expand our sport offerings and turn into more of a year-round program, it's going to start by having successful student athletes that come through our program. And that doesn't always mean winning on the field or on the court, right? So for us, it's finding the right type of person that matches our value system, who is willing to put in the work, set goals, and go achieve them. And we have found that when you do that in the classroom, the winning in the sports side tends to take care of itself. As I like to say, if you are good at the things you have to do, then the things you want to do, you tend to be great at, right? So it's kind of a mentality and a focus there. For our volleyball program, one unique thing that's going on this year, we have 2 volleyball players, actually a trio that we took out of Crater High School last year. They were freshmen for us. This year they are sophomores, and 2 of them, Froge and Kylie Anderson. Tessa Froge is currently the #1 hitter in volleyball in the entire NWAC. And after last weekend, Kylie Anderson moved into being the #1 libero player in the entire conference. So as I mentioned, I think just to you in conversation before, about 2 weeks ago, we had a game where 2 starters who play the same position, both got significantly injured and had to be out for the past 2 weeks. And it's because of those 2 players, Tessa and Kylie, that we managed to win all 4 games without those starters and stay in competition. And rightfully so. Tessa has been named the Player of the Week 1 time and the Conference Player of the Week once. Kylie has been named the Player of the Week 6 times and the Player of the Week twice for the entire conference. And one of those superstar freshmen I mentioned from Hawaii, Jordan McCutcheon, who is our setter, has been the Player of the Week 5 times and a Conference Player of the Week once. So our big 3 has really kept us afloat in a year of transition where we sent a lot of talented players on and we bring in freshmen. And part of the challenge of a junior college, like community college, is that we only for 2 years most of the time. So we bring them in as freshmen and we quickly got to turn around, try to help them grow and get where they want to go, as a career program where you get a lot more time to develop these individuals. When you have a lot of swings, we could have 2 great years and we struggle because we're replacing a lot of talented players. But we were thankful in this case, the 2 local, very talented volleyball players rose to the occasion, and we were 1 win away from making playoffs for all 4 years in the program. So anytime we can help local athletes go to school, it's a great thing for me. Part of my mission in just adding more sports at college is that right now we have 25 student athletes that we're helping go to college. But if we develop into full year-round athletics, we're going to have 100 to 150 local athletes that are being helped and go to college. And the college is gracious and fortunate enough to provide us with our full legal allotment of scholarships. So we help a lot of these kids pay for their tuition as much as we are able to. So some of them, especially the ones that move from Florida, right, we do our best to help offset their expenses and try to give everybody a chance to succeed at something other than just the sport that they love to play. A big thing that we started this year in athletics, I'm really proud of and working on for a couple of years, is our Student Athlete Council. Student Athlete Council is a group comprised of 2 team leaders from every sport that we have, as well as representatives from the college. Current head of the foundation, Jody Simons. People I see in Zoom land, Dallas is on there, as well as instructional faculty, business office, staff. The goal of this council is for 1, to help coordinate our fundraising efforts and put a team effort behind it, but 2, to give student athletes a direct voice and representation to the people who make the decisions that impact their experience here. So to me, it's connecting the front, literally the highest personnel at the college who makes the decision about what that life is going to look like. The goal of communication, and built off a model of Southern Oregon University. They have what's called a red-black committee. my goal is to build a program that is over the last decade in his time there. So a big part for me is empowering student athletes to be able to have a say in their experience. So we'll be having our second meeting of that in just a couple of weeks. And I'm going to be sharing my opportunity to speak with your group, opportunities to try to put student athletes out in the community and really engage more. We are a community college, and so part of what we do is to try to engage in the community in any ways that we can. One of those ways, we started a student club called the Osprey Society, and that club goes out and does community service or creates and holds events on campus for student community members. So it's this big weaving process that I have been working on, trying to actually in a community to know everybody, but community college operating one way, and now years of with, and it's a shift in the way that both internally and externally our cultures work, right? And so as I continue to try to get out and meet people, and I got hired, my goal will be I will at some point no longer hear the phrase, "Oh, I didn't know you had athletics." That is still my goal 6 years in. It has largely stopped internally at my college, which is a fantastic step. Continue to grow and move into the community and try to dispel that too. And one of the ways we were talking about with some of the shift in leadership and some of the new opportunities that we have at the college is how do we engage more here, specifically in Grants Pass, where our home campus is. Our challenge right now is our facilities that are at the college are not up to the level they need to be for collegiate competition, but your community to that level. And so part of our conference in playing at 2 locations and then potentially hosting certain home games here in Grants Pass as well as in Medford. More there are for facilities here in Grants Pass launch programs as we then move into 10, 15, 20 years down the road where we try to eventually have facilities and a culture built internally on campus. So we do only have the men's soccer and women's volleyball this year. We have previously had a women's soccer program. As everybody knows, we had this little thing called a pandemic a while ago. It was particularly challenging for athletics. We were told overnight that you aren't allowed to do what you do, and it took 7 months before they said, okay, you can start doing what you do again. We took that as a challenge to, okay, if we can't do what we want to do, how about we focus on those things we have to do? And the result of that time period for us was our highest number of graduates and our highest number of academic excellence awards that we have ever had. So give us something to work at and we'll get competitive at that, even if it's graduating from school. We're going to try to do better. So a result of all of the fallout is that our women's soccer program was oddities, took all of the they had players who got hurt, players who got sick, and so we have not been able to run that program. But I received word that we were approved to run it for next fall. So we are in the process of hiring our women's soccer coach to return women's soccer to the college, and we are in conversations and hoping that we can expand in the future. My immediate goal, I think, would be the culture in our communities is a baseball and softball program. I know in Medford, it is almost impossible to get community leagues that get played all the time. In Grants Pass, I know fields I have learned in talking to the city here. But we also are fortunate enough to be near Southern Oregon University and Oregon Tech, who both have won national championships in softball in the last 3 years. So we have direct relations to great programs, we have the Medford Rogues, Mustangs, a lot of that culture that already exists. And so, as we start new conversations with our new president and we look at the opportunities that athletics might have moving forward, my dream is we start when we start soccer and we finish with baseball in May or June, and there's always something going on for student athletes year round. Someday having men's and women's basketball, and then bringing back cross country, golf, track and field, all the different options that we would have available to us. But immediately, my softball program, because it would double our number of student athletes. It would give us events in the spring and in the fall and give us kind of a year-round robust program. And like I said, it takes us from probably 60 to over 120 student athletes, which means 60 to 70 local athletes continuing to get an opportunity to get a better education or career. Hopefully those you know about career and tech So that's one of the unique things that we offer. Joe Bergman, who's from Hidden Valley High School. He wants to be a firefighter, but he also wants to be a men's soccer player. Well, we just happen to have both of those things available to us at Rogue. So he's playing men's soccer for us this year. We're working on getting him into fire science next year. And then he would graduate on all of that locally and getting to be an athlete, get scholarships and be able to become a firefighter, and hopefully then come back and work in our community as a firefighter. Right. And that's a big part of my goal, having been raised here for 34 plus years. I have lived in the Valley, quick math, and the Valley that gave me the opportunity to be an athletic director and to create opportunity. And so I continue to try to do that. And as we do our part, in my opinion, by trying to transfer student athletes, graduate student athletes, build alumni, and then of course win when we have the opportunity to win, we are presenting our case for expansion. This past season, we transferred our 20th student athlete to a 4-year program. So we had 20 student athletes in our first 6 years of competition. We have over 10 that are eligible to transfer and be signed this year. So we're hoping to significantly grow that. We have 3 volleyball players that are currently being looked at to go to Southern Oregon University and play for their program. So it continues to be a partnership that we build locally, and a partnership that I think in the long run, I continue to motivate the people that work with me, that we have the opportunity to build something that will outlast our careers. And that is something that I hope to be a part of as I continue to work in athletics at Rogue. Excuse me. I guess I just wanted to finish again with thank yous. And I don't really know. I know I want to leave time for questions. I didn't have a clock running, but I got lots. I could talk forever about this. This has been my life's goal since 2015. I have 8 years of spending every moment I can into how do I turn athletics into something that people care about at Rogue Community College. But it doesn't happen without partnerships. We continue to grow and connect with community partners, whether it's just letting people know we exist and telling people we have games that we're going to play, to people that actually are able to be financial donors. We are, as I mentioned, starting an actual fund circuit where we will start doing volleyball tournaments, soccer tournaments, hopefully building into things like bigger events, golf tournaments, and those types of things where we just get the community to help us build where we want to go. So without the support, without being invited by people like Judy, or I'm going to call it Jenny Jackson, because we've worked together for like my entire career, who have been longtime supporters of me and continue to invite me to opportunities to come and speak to people, to share what we're doing, to let you know that we're doing this work and that we are trying to grow and expand what we're doing. That's how we are going to make it. That's how we're going to turn into something that the community can be proud of, is because we work with the community. So anytime I can come to an event, anytime I can share what we do or what I want to do, or bring coaches, players to connect to the community, I'm going to take you up on it, because this is how I build the dream that I've been working on. Yeah. I'm more, if you have questions, I'd love to answer them. And absolutely. Yeah. Do we have one in the room first, or should we jump to the chat? Let's go to the chat. What do we got? No problem. Also, for those of you who are present in the room, soon depends on your definition of the word. Men's, per my initial notice, I was a basketball player. Once I started growing significantly in high school, it was like, hey, you should switch from that sport and come play the one where tall people matter. So that's my sport of passion. It is the sport I would love to start the most, but it is one of the most challenging, because we need a gym that is suitable for collegiate basketball. There are some community options that are being developed in Jackson County that may be possible. That's why baseball and softball is a priority, because those facilities already exist for us to be able to tap into. But men's and women's basketball is my dream. If I have the opportunity to be here long enough to make that happen, that is where we will go. It is the most popular sport in our conference. You see the most student athletes go from junior college basketball to Division I and professional, other than baseball, because they have like hundreds of players. But men's, it's the biggest sport, and it's my sport of passion. So yes, the answer is I will, if I'm here long enough, it will eventually happen. Soon, I cannot tell you what that looks like. Christine Nelson, who we've spoken about a couple times here, has been involved in the club scene since she got here. She's taken 2 club teams to nationals and qualified. She's won a whole host of tournaments. She's currently with Rise Volleyball in Jackson County. But you were right. That is how she has kind of gotten her name out there and very quickly gotten the attention, is engaging with the high school youth and through the club format and trying to bring a college level of instruction to that group so that they know what they're going to expect when they walk into wherever they're going as an 18-year-old freshman. My sister played volleyball at Ashland High School and went through that same experience. So I know it is a lot to ask of somebody, is that transition. So the more we can engage and she can engage with that population early on, the more they see the value of what we're offering. Because I get it. I grew up here and I was tempted to leave the Valley when I graduated Ashland because I'd been here my whole life and I just want to get out. I ended up at SOU because the opportunity was the best for me. And our biggest sell to the students who really want an experience outside of where they grew up is give us 1 year. 1 year, we can give you free education with Oregon Promise, we can give you collegiate experience at this level that you can then go and send to college level coaches and show what you can do at the college level, right? If you're already being recruited out of high school because of club and you're passionate, we want you to go where you're most wanted and your opportunities are the greatest. But if you're on, be a great way to get good quality education at an almost low to sometimes free price while playing high level volleyball for a program that we're thankful has been very, very successful. So you will go very deep into the playoffs and you will get a lot of exposure that way. So thank you for that. Our coaches have been clubs all 8 years. And so now he's recruiting kids. He's been coaching since 8th grade to come play for him in college. So it's his 6th year bringing in these players, right? So it's a big part of what we do and how we stay connected to the community. Yes, I got a question in the back and then right in front. Great question. The question was, how do the student athletes acquire housing? Is that fair? Yeah. Yeah. So the half usually stay at home with mom and dad. And same thing I did the first year of college to help save money and get on my feet. Those that we know they're coming, the better chance we have of finding them somewhere to live. The college does. But we have been doing this long enough that we know some of the people who own the largest housing property managers in the area, like CPM and things of that nature. And what we are lucky is stumble into somebody who owns a private owner who gets to know us. Volleyball program, we've had this apartment for all 4 years, and we just keep moving new players in and up. Generally pay their bills and are respectful, and they got a lot of people who will hound on them if they're not doing things like that. So they tend to be conversation for the call. In our world, what makes it different? In February, until August. Our best to try to do. But it is one of our greatest challenges, and it comes from a college that was built without housing in mind a long time ago. Is with that from the beginning. Challenges coming, so we use the fact that 30 plus years, and I know a lot of people, just because this valley is big, but not that big. I know people after a while, and then now I have friends who I've grown up with that are now running some of these places or working for them. Okay. Yeah, in the back there. So in season is significantly different than out of season. An out of season program is usually that is observed by us. They are practicing the first month. They do 5 hours of practice a day, broken into 2 parts. And for the first 2 to 3 weeks or so, and then once we get into season, they're practicing every morning. Season, be committing actual on-court time. They might be committing 20 hours, but then they're going to have 20 hours of travel associated with that as well. So one of the chance our men's soccer team, through the oddities, they might as well. So I would say on average, you're 10 to 15 hours a week for an athlete if you average a year, but August 1st through Thanksgiving, might leave on a Thursday morning and won't be home till Sunday at midnight. And they'll be playing 4 or 5 games that weekend. So it can be intense. Yeah. So default, oh yeah, sorry. Oh, our program is probably 92% Jackson County annually. Grants Pass High School and Hidden Valley are the 2 programs we take the most players out of, and each year we have a couple. But our men's soccer team has 3 players outside of from local players that are from Josephine County, and everyone else is from Jackson County. Volleyball this year does not have a player from Josephine County. They have the previous 3 years, but not this year. Correct. So, yeah, the facilities that we play out of for soccer, we play out of the Lithia and Driveway Fields, which is in South Medford there, and volleyball's facility is the Courthouse Family Fitness, which is on North Phoenix Road in East Medford. So that's part of my goal of trying to find facilities where we could host home games here and we could start splitting it. So I think if we put our product in front of the local students here, they're going to see what we actually are producing. The challenge we had initially is a lot of people thought we were just like a community league, and anybody can sign up, anybody can walk on. And the reality is that these are our student athletes who are 18 years old and have spent the last 10 years of their life trying to get to this moment. So the average person is not going to be able to compete with the student athletes. And so part of that is creating that professional environment and trying to find the facilities that support it. But yeah, typically we are very heavy Jackson County. Yes, in the back there. So the short answer would be yes. I was at the South region, which is all of the junior colleges pretty much on the I-5 corridor. There's 10 of us. We had a meeting on Tuesday. The 2 sports that are being pitched to our conference to take on, one is rugby and the other is pickleball. I mean, I remember playing pickleball in PE when I was a kid, and I can tell you that almost every tennis court in our community in Medford is turning into a pickleball court. And I know I think LeBron James just bought into the professional pickleball court or pickleball league. So I have a feeling that it might come sooner than later. But I was surprised to hear that was one of the leading sports that the conference is considering added was pickleball. But I mean, from what I've seen, it is incredibly competitive and fast growing sport. So I wouldn't be surprised if it came in. It's also easy to find a facility for it because you just need a tennis court or a gym and you're set to go. So wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it in the next couple of years. Yes. Okay, well, so actually I know. The short answer is maybe. Oh, sorry, I forget. The first question was, what about pickleball as a sport? The second was, what about cornhole as a sport? Cornhole is the sport where you throw the bean bags and you try to land it through the hole on the far side, often considered like originally a garage or a tailgate style game, but it's really, really grown. They're on ESPN now. If you watch ESPN, you'll see them show up on there. I sit on the Southern Oregon Sports Commission, a group of people who are dedicated to trying to grow sports in the Valley. And in February, we are bringing the American Cornhole Organization here. They are going to do their regional competition here. Over 300 players will be flying in to compete for the prize. And our athletes are going to be volunteering to support that event and help run it. And the Sports Commission just ran a local tournament for anybody who wanted to sign up out of the Jackson County Expo. And they had a $5,000 prize for it. And they had 25 courts running for 2 days straight. So again, as absurd as it may seem, cornhole could be the next one because it is so popular and anybody can play that sport. And we already have the facilities. Yeah. And so, yeah, exactly. Any other questions? I don't know if we had any left in the chat or in the room. I want to be conscious of my time window here. One final one up front. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Sure. So our ratio is higher than most schools. Oh, right. Sorry. The question was about academic excellence I mentioned earlier and whether or not how we compare, I guess, to other schools in our conference when it comes to that. So our ratio of academic athletes is one of the highest, but by number, we're low because we don't have that many student athletes. But this year, I mentioned we have 5 student athletes, 8 of them won academic excellence awards. So that's significant for us at our level. And we often do have a high number. The most we've ever had was we had 10 when we had 55 students in 2019. And to be an academic excellence, you have to be, well, there's 2 types. Excellence is 3.25 and above, and at least 60 credits towards your degree completed after your 5th term. Or an academic leader is a 3.5 and above, and the same number of credits. And our volleyball program has 3.85 and above GPA players currently on their program. So one of those being the talented hitter that I mentioned earlier. So it is something that we very much focus on. And what we always say for athletes who want to transfer, GPA stands for get paid in athletics, because it's the truth, or get to play athletics, I guess you could say. But really for them, it's about getting paid. The higher your GPA, you can get academic and athletic scholarships, and that next level's cost now drops significantly. Stanford, went to Pacific University and received $30,000 in academic scholarships, is graduating in the spring and will have only paid less than 10 grand for a bachelor's degree from a private in Oregon. So it's possible. How much do you want to put in? And I feel like I'm getting these signals that my time is running out. So all I want to say for those of you in the room, I have, if you're trying this new thing with Osprey's socks this year, so sorry. You are here in person. I've got some stuff if you would like to take a look at, you're welcome to have and bring with you. And again, thank you for the time. I appreciate getting a chance to talk to you and to share what I'm trying to do at Rogue with Osprey's Athletics. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was interesting. Okay, Doug, would you like to come up and lead us in Sergeant at Arms?
Okay, Sergeant of Arms. We don't have time for the story I had because it's a bit long. Darn it. Short version. Railroad tracks, horses' butts, and that's why railroad tracks are that wide. And so us horses' asses, we still have a chance to really leave our impression in the world. So we've got a chance. Happy Bucks. Anybody? Somebody. Jenny. Go ahead.
I'm going to dig it out.
All right. Darren.
I was at the beginning, and we were so tiny, and we had to start the club, and I'm really impressed to see how far you've come and how much great work you've done. So my happy bucks.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, Darren, that was. I'm going to move this microphone around, and then you're going to be in charge of the microphone.
I am. You don't want that. I just want to also, my happy bucks are for Darren. He's just so charming and hardworking. And I know that he wants to have more sports over here. And I hope you enjoyed listening to him. I loved working with him, you know, that enthusiasm. And so I'm thrilled that he came to talk to us today. Thank you, Darren.
As a Southern Oregon grad myself, I would like to donate to Happy Bucks in Darren's honor too.
Okay, I'll do Deb, and then I see we've got a couple people on.
I'm on the Darren train as well. Nicely done.
Kelly Gonzalez, I see your hand.
Go Ospreys! I'll give happy bucks for Darren and also for the marketing team that I have the privilege of leading at RCC, because the team won some awards at the regional National Council for Marketing and PR, which is a gathering of the marketing professionals from community colleges in our region. And so I'll give happy bucks for them and for Darren. Thank you.
Anyone else here or on Zoom?
I've got a couple happy bucks for, there's a bowl of peppers back there from my garden. So if anybody wants peppers, please take some. I don't want to bring any home. And next week, if the weather holds out, there'll be more. There's a lot of them coming.
Okay.
Well, I'll throw in a couple happy bucks for Darren too, because that was awesome. It was very inspirational to hear you talk about student athletes and what it can do and the growth. And I'm excited. I'm a retired teacher, so it's really exciting to see that happening. And I'm going to give a couple happy bucks because I am a puppy grandma this week. And so I have learned the value of sleep and why I don't want a puppy, but it is truly an honor this week to be making friends out at the dog park.
Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to go over to Patty, and while I'm getting to her, I want to throw in a happy buck because we had a great book club discussion last night. It was a lot of fun, and I think we're going to try to organize a second discussion because there's just so much to talk about in the book. So if you couldn't make it last night, don't worry, we're going to try to do it again.
Hi there. My husband and I got up this morning to the gym. From the gym, and cuddled kittens. 3, he's here with me at Rotary. And by the way, that was an excellent presentation, but I only had $3.
All right. Anyone else? Yeah, exactly. Anyone else?
I have to address.
I can't get to them.
Organizational principles, say what they mean. Is it the truth? Is the Pledge of Allegiance the truth? What does it represent? Right now in America, it's a symbol for Trumpism. It is not justice for it is.
Yeah.
It's a question to bring to the national committee. Is this where we start? Is it the truth?
All right, we will leave that discussion for another time. It's a good question to bring up. I invite all of you to think about that and have that conversation, but we're going to move along. I think, are there any other happy bucks on Zoom? No? Anybody else in the room? All right. Thank you, Doug. We are going to, let's see here, a couple of reminders. Next week's program, we have one of our favorite program topics is member vocationals, where we get to meet our new members and learn a little bit more about them. And next week, we will hear from Patrice Hanlon, who is one of our members, works out at the Josephine County Food Bank. And reminders, save your blue bags for November 15th. Collect your holiday cards if you have them. Look for emails about service projects out at the food bank, Interact, Backpack Project. We'll get more information to you. And my final thought of the day for you is a quote from Henri Friedrich Emil. And he said that life is short and we have never too much time for gladdening the hearts of those who are traveling the dark journey with us. Oh, be swift to love, make haste to be kind. Thank you all. Be sure to come up and check out the Osprey swag up here, and we will see you guys next week.